snapped. He half rose from his chair beside Ranvig and glowered at Decebalus. Ranvig gave Arni a look, and he subsided. "Nor will I trade more men for the Dacian bride that Duras the king offered me last night," Ranvig said. "I have a wife." "Duras is old, and he drinks." Decebalus grinned. "I am keeping my sister to persuade the Getae to finalize our confederation. Although there is a younger one. She is only 10, but such an alliance would not be a bad thing. We will be a great empire, greater than Rome." "No." Ranvig considered that a permanent alliance with Decebalus would be an appallingly bad thing. He was glad that he was not the king of the Getae, who were related to the Dacians and were going to be persuaded one way or the other. "If the free lands wished to be part of an empire, we would not have fought Rome," Arni said, and Ranvig didn't quiet him this time. Decebalus considered. He had got what he thought he would, which was the neutrality of the Semnones' eastward relatives, and a tactical lesson in Roman armor, weapons, and maneuvers to supplement what he had gleaned from Roman deserters who had crossed the river into Dacia fleeing punishment or boredom. "I could keep your men here," he suggested. It would be easy enough. They were greatly outnumbered. Arni started to stand again, and Ranvig laid a hand on his arm. "Do not threaten me, warlord. None of us will be of use to you dead, and none will fight for you willingly. Are you ready to sacrifice your agreement with the Quadi and the Marcomanni for that? When the snow clears enough to travel," Ranvig informed him, "we will make our way home. Good fortune in your endeavors, Prince." He nodded at the other two, and they all rose. When the Germans had left, Dieges said, "Godilla is wavering. It would give him things to think about if you kill the Germans." Decebalus poured the rest of the wine into his cup. "Ranvig is more useful alive. Also, he is right about the Quadi and Marcomanni. The German chieftains all have tempers like wolverines. It is why they will never be great, and I will. They'll bite the Romans eventually. It just has to be arranged." "In that case," Dieges said, "you had best go and sweeten Godilla with rapturous descriptions of our sister's tits. And you might wish to sweeten Zias too. She's angry. When you have something to offer that I have not thought of, be certain to tell me," Decebalus said. He turned his own wine cup in his hand, studying the embossed horseman who rode around its midsection, spear leveled at a fleeing enemy. He would drive the Romans from the Ister, which they called the Danuvius, all the way south into Macedonia. And maybe when that was done, he would conquer Macedonia too, and then the Parthian lands where Alexander had died. He would be Alexander reborn, and unlike Alexander, he would live to rule. The priests had seen it in the stars, if only because he had told them to. Chapter 1. Morning. Correus Appius Julianus stood with his parade helmet tucked under one arm and let himself cry. Against the marble doors on the end of a small casket, carved in hope of the soul's journey, leaned a marble spindle and basket of wool. Above them a marble dove fluttered, caught between the spindle and the mourning wreaths that flanked those immovable doors. The howls of the mourners beat against the air unendingly, but the grief was real. There had been no need of hired mourners to lament Lady Antonia. Family, slaves, freedmen, and half the great families of Rome had stretched the funeral procession from the house on the hill in an unbroken line to the green lawn and masonry monuments beside the road that were the graves of the House of Appius Julianus. There had been other deaths this winter from the epidemic that had taken its toll mainly on the very young and very old.